Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us for this panel discussion hosted by Tata Elxsi on a very interesting topic, generative AI to propel RegTech into future. Tata Elxsi has been pretty engaged recently with clients, particularly in the MedTech industry, trying to navigate what the AI Act means for them. So we thought to bring in a panel of experts together to get into this emerging topic and shed a bit of the light on what medical device manufacturers should be doing and planning for at the moment. During the session, I will request you guys to please drop your questions in the chat window and we will get back to you with a Q&A report within a week's time, and we will also share the recording of this webinar with you. My name is Dolly Sharma, and I am a part of regulatory practice team at Tata Elxsi, designated as practice lead. I have overall 12 years of experience in medical device industry and have been ISO 13485 EU MDR and MDSAP auditor in the past. I will now request our panel members Mani Gupta and Vamsi Ravali to introduce themselves.
Thanks, Dory. Excited to be part of this panel discussion. I'm with Tata Elxsi for more than 15 years now, and I'm responsible for digital solutions development and delivery for our global clients. So, with over 2 decades in IT industry, in different capacities and collaboration with R&D teams from leading global OEMs, Tata Elxsi has given me opportunity to witness firsthand how emerging technologies can spark waves of innovations. So while some advancements may quickly fade, others have profound and enduring influence on both the industry and society at large. So my recent explorations into generative AI technologies and their industrial applications, specifically regulatory affairs, have led me to believe that they are not just a fleeting trend, but a transformative force poised to redefine how we work. So Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, she's a chief scientist at the WHO, said the integration of generative AI in regulatory affairs can revolutionize how we approach global health challenge. She believes that this integration can help in faster decision making, better analysis, and more effective policy implementation. I firmly believe in this, and I foresee a shift in the human workforce focus from mundane tasks to more strategic roles, and technology shall take responsibilities for the repetitive functions in near future also, and in the regulatory affairs, all the different aspects of it. Thank you.
Yeah, Vamsi.
Thank you, Mani. From a medical device domain perspective, I completely agree with Mani. I'm Vamsi Ravali, and I have been in medical device industry since 15 years, and I have mainly contributed to the regulatory domain for more than 8 years now. I lead some accounts for our marquee customers in Tata Elxsi, and I also wear the hat of practice head for regulatory. In my tenure, I have seen many attempts, successful and otherwise, to optimize the documentation burden, make processes leaner to reduce time to market, etc. Gen AI holds tremendous potential in many areas, including medical device regulatory domain, where it can contribute to areas like large data scanning, analysis, interpretation, which eventually reduces some burden on the regulatory professional and enables them to focus on more strategic activities. On the other hand, I would also like to add that regulatory, thy name is caution. So any new technology utilized in medical domain has to be vetted, tracked, and regulated in the proper fashion to ensure all safety and security compliance goals are met. Thank you. Over to you, Dolly.
Thank you. Thank you, Vamsi and Mani, for this insightful information. I would like to go on and ask that how do you think that AI makes the difference in regulatory domain?
Regulatory compliances, they play a deterministic role for medtech and pharma industry. The sets of rules are diverse, with each country having its own regulations, which in turn varies depending on the class, category of the devices. Almost 30% of the critical observations from regulatory authorities across the globe are due to process non-compliance with respect to the latest regulations and standards. The cost of non-compliance contributes to around 20 to 40% of an OEM's annual costs. So it becomes obvious that gathering regulatory updates on time, correct implementation of the same, and applying them across all relevant processes becomes critical for being compliant. And so far, Gen AI has been very helpful in tracking and monitoring all the regulatory updates. It provides quick summarization and is able to extract insights, which would help any manufacturer to be on top of things always. Another critical aspect for OEMs would be to speed up things and reduce time to market, keeping within all the compliance boundaries and ensuring every process is followed correctly. So certain areas where AI can improve productivity in such cases are like performing literature surveys, creating vigilance reports, etc. With technology, it's possible to improve coverage of literature from various screenings and AI enabled filtering to find the relevant ones based on inclusion exclusion criteria. It can support reorganizing of large existing data to assemble partial draft documents, to quickly assemble technical dossiers, and many such areas. All in all, reducing manual labor would speed up things. They reduce certain errors introduced due to the manual processes. And more exploration and technology advancements in AI would keep generating further such opportunities. Mani, what do you think?
Yeah, very true, Vamsi. The recent advances in Gen AI provide enormous opportunity to improve productivity and accuracies, as you already touched upon, regulatory intelligence and the literature scan. So the Gen AI has the capability of analyzing and generating content, and what makes it significant is that it can analyze huge amount of data, considering hundreds of differentiating features, which is not possible for a human. So second, it can generate text from its available knowledge base and new content in just a matter of few seconds. So we have powerful LLMs like GPT-4, MedPalm available now, which are already trained on huge volumes of data. So they just need to be fine-tuned for specific requirements. So given this capability combined with other technological solutions like say web crawling, document management, OCR, RPA, a new set of applications is emerging. So, for example, as you mentioned, Vamsi, the importance of timely regulatory updates, right? So, Gen AI enabled apps are helping regulatory teams in getting the timely regulatory updates, intelligently differentiating the relevant ones, and then generating the initial impact analysis as well. Otherwise, this is a task which is for left for the SMEs to do the, what is the impact of a particular news which is coming in. Right? Similarly, the scanning of large volume of literature available in the internet. So as you also touched upon, there's a huge amount of data which is available, which is, I mean, we have big teams of SMEs sitting and then scanning those. So Genia is good at that. I mean, we can collect the information and then we can find the relevant ones using the technology. In a few seconds, it can scan hundreds of pages and provide the ones which are relevant, which are not relevant.
Yeah, that sounds quite promising. But can you share some examples of its implementation?
Yeah, sure. I mean, talking about one specific example from our practical experience on how AI is helping regulatory teams, there are new regulations coming up to regulate the usage of PFAS material in the medical devices. So, identification of PFAS material in the existing product is a mammoth task. So, these new technologies can build a knowledge base for PFAS material, which can continuously learn and become richer day by day as they learn, right? So the knowledge base further helps in identifying the components having PFAS and creating supplier profiles. So Gen AI can understand the presence of PFAS not just on the basis of the material name, but also understand the context, properties, the chemical structure, and the material being discussed. So that's a similarity of words. So it can process vast amount of data from multiple sources and compile a report out of it, right? So also AI can help not just the OEMs, but it can also help the regulatory bodies. So it can make their task of validating the submissions much quicker. So automated document reviews for completeness check, identifying areas of non-compliance, and comprehensive check of the reports by integrating data from multiple sources such as say, clinical trials and past submissions and then the manufacturing records are some of the examples. This overall will help OEMs in reducing the timelines of submissions and overall reducing the time in which we get the medical devices in the hands of the users. That's the advantages.
Yeah, I agree. And coming from the notified body background, I can vouch for it that yes, Gen AI application for regulatory authorities will also be useful. But what are the typical challenges that you can see when implementing AI from domain as well as technology perspective? Mani, maybe you can go first.
Yeah, sure. From the technology perspective, the first major challenge is its acceptance and adoption by the domain teams. So AI solutions are a black box for everyone. The LLMs generated outputs are not the same every time because of the implemented randomness in the models. So building trust amongst all the users for a new technology that needs some time. It also needs thorough training and transparency in execution. See, so all the organizations that we work with, they're always concerned about the safety of the confidential information which get fed to this LLMs. So careful solution design, clear contractual agreements with the service providers, and education to the team developing such solutions is the key to handle these concerns. So, and the challenge is the development, deployment, version control, and maintenance of the Gen AI models needs long-term strategy. The return of investments, though right now everyone is talking about it and it's predicted to be exponential, but it is largely unclear or difficult to calculate deterministically as of today. So hence, there is a hesitation in investment as well. Also, the regulations of use of Gen AI in regulatory affairs are at the initial stage right now. So, whether the outputs generated by the Gen AI enabled fully automated solutions shall be acceptable to regulatory bodies or not is an unknown right now. So, we need to be very cautious when we are implementing a thoughtful design and like solutioning is required that in the approach.
Yeah, I agree. And there are also talks about bias and hallucination in the generated output. So, can you also talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, these are kind of well-known challenges of bias and hallucinations, but most of these have been mitigated by technological advances and careful I would say, the training data set. So, as Sam Altman of OpenAI had said, generative AI is one of the most exciting and powerful technologies of our times, but it also presents new challenges and risks that we need to address thoughtfully and proactively. So, as Gen AI is a very recent innovation, the skilled team is building up right now. It's important to give them right trainings to ensure these challenges of bias, hallucination, data security are effectively taken care of. So there's some more investment required in the skilled resources. So and the solutions, the technical solutions are already there. And last but not the least, the fine tuning of the models. I'm talking about the challenges. Fine tuning of the models for accurate results is very important. But the problem is that we are solving a very typical regulatory domain problem where the ready-made training data sets are not available right now. So creation of these data sets needs close collaboration with the domain and the technology team.
Yeah, I agree. Vamsi, can you share light
Yeah,
on the domain?
Yeah, from the domain perspective, I believe we need to set up clear end goals. The Gen AI adoption should be aligned to clearly defined business objectives, outcomes, and rather than jumping on the AI bandwagon, organizations need to map areas for Gen AI synergies in their regulatory processes. And this introduces challenges like domain and technology interdependencies, like Mani already mentioned, real world impact validations, and trying to keep up with continuous changes in the medical knowledge and regulations. Just to maybe slightly expand on these, regulatory compliance is akin to a labyrinth with complexities arising from regional variations in compliance requirements, type of product in question, tough to interpret regulations, etc. And it needs seasoned QARA professions to address them. Any AI model proposed would be heavily dependent on the domain experts to navigate its twists and turns. And also, faster obsolescence of clinical knowledge is a reality now. Ever evolving regulations, medical knowledge, protocols, etc., they would require significant adaptations for the Gen AI. And lastly, since Gen AI is still in the nascent stages, there are some blind spots when integrating it with existing workflows. It needs validations in diverse practical settings. Domain and technology teams, they need to work very closely to ensure that the generated outputs are accurate, I would say.
Yeah. So how does the cross-functional collaboration works? Like it looks like that technology has to blend in with domain knowledge to full-fledged solution. So Vamsi, maybe you can answer this.
Yeah. Uh, so interdisciplinary teams need to come together to make the AI component work effectively in a particular domain. And this team would involve tech experts, domain SMEs, legal and compliance experts. By fostering a collaborative environment where technology and domain knowledge blend seamlessly, medical device manufacturers can develop AI systems that are not only innovative but also compliant with the EU AI Act and other similar relevant regulations. It would also increase. It would also include increasing awareness amongst all teams regarding what AI can and cannot do. What are the requirements? What are the boundaries, constraints of the functional domain that you are attempting to penetrate? And awareness and knowledge sharing would be the strong foundation on which such collaboration is built. Money.
Yeah, very true. I mean, the cross collaboration is crucial for the success of such solutions. So, understanding the pain point of the domain teams, sensitivity of the information, most impactful touch points needs thorough understanding of the operations of the regulatory affairs work in the respective areas. So, considering the compliance requirements, early engagement and dialogue between the solution development team and the regulatory bodies can help prevent costly rework and delays in the approval process. So, if you take PFAS identification as a problem statement, it needs thorough understanding of the source of information about what are different PFAS material, right? So, how to trace it back to the final product, to the material supplier, and what are the most impactful reports. I mean, this is something that we want to hear from the domain teams, isn't it, Mamsi?
Yeah. So for domain teams, it's important to understand the capabilities and limitations of the technology. For example, the information intake, which can be bill of materials in any digital solution, has dependency on the format of the input, whether it's structured, unstructured, has consistent key value pairs of it varies with each PL. Right, Mani?
Yeah, true. So, for example, regulatory intelligence gathering, right? So far, many of the clients we have spoken, they have the expectation. Okay, you have a news that you are gathering. Why don't you give their insights right away? It is not possible till some time. I mean, now we have Gen AI, so it is possible, right? Now we can talk about it. So this is something that you spoke about, Mansi, that we should know the limitation and the advantages of the technology, right? So, and as a technology person, I need to understand what insights the regulatory affairs team is looking for, right? There are hundreds of sources of information, which is authentic, which information has more impact on which kind of OEMs, right? What news about the competitors is important for the OEM. So this is what we learn from the domain teams. So when we establish a working team for such projects, it's important to have workshop sessions, face-to-face discussion to exchange information and understand the opportunities and pain areas for both the technology and domain teams. It needs continuous brainstorming on each problem statement to convert it into an implementable solution. And appropriate checks and balances need to be enforced by ensuring that the process data is being validated by the SMEs, which is very important. Because although we are generating a lot of content, it is correct or not, or it's SME validation is very important at this point,
Very true.
state of the technology right now.
Very true.
Yeah. So it looks like that you do have a strong solution, Gen AI based solution for PFAS mitigation. So can you shed some light on it?
Yeah, sure. This PFAS is something which is kind of bothering the OEMs right now, and there are many ways where Gen AI can help in managing the PFAS regulatory compliance requirements at hand. So it needs a thorough analysis from source of origination of the PFAS material from the suppliers, analysis of its presence on different products, and assessing the impact as per the regulations prevalent in that country where it's being marketed, and the impact on revenues. So how to safeguard the revenues, by finding alternatives. So our solution for PFAS identification platform is to allow OEMs to do a quick check on the presence of PFAS material or any other material of concern by analyzing the components and the material being used in the devices.
Very, very challenging problem in hand,
Yeah,
indeed.
so Jenny makes it a bit easier to handle. The platform swifts through scientific literature, country-specific regulations, organization-specific product information, and creates knowledge base to determine whether a component in the product contains PFAS or not. So it may not be possible to deterministically tell about each component. So keeping human in the loop helps in building the trust about the results being produced. So human can accept or reject the decisions which are created by AI. So, and this, talking about solution, it can say create dashboards for the presence of PFAS in different components. It can also create the dashboard about the suppliers. So this way, it accelerates the product development, and it ensures that the product survival and the profitability by staying ahead of the material bands, it stays right. So we have already observed up to 40% improvement in productivity in PFAS identification by reducing the required supplier outreach for some of our clients.
That's that sounds pretty interesting to implement. But once you are using the AI piece in a solution, what are the regulatory requirements associated with it that needs to be followed?
I can take that. In a nutshell, if you ask me, whenever you integrate AI into a solution, there's several regulatory requirements and guidelines to consider, which can vary by region, industry, and the key aspects that come under the scrutiny would be robustness, data security, accountability, and accuracy. And few well-known regulations that play a crucial role in regulating AI in the medical device industry would be like US FDA guidelines, good machine learning practices, and recently the EU AI Act. It's important to stay updated with the latest regulations and guidelines as the regulatory landscape for AI is rapidly evolving. And for example, the AI Act proposed by the European Commission sets out a comprehensive framework for the regulation of AI systems within the EU. It was published on, I think, July 12th, 2024, and it will come into force in August 2024. The implementation will occur gradually over the following like 6 to 36 months. And this framework aims to ensure that AI technologies are developed and used responsibly. It fosters trust and safety in AI applications.
Yeah, sounds great. So, what advancements will you see in RegTech and Gen AI in future? So, how will these improve efficiencies and final outcome for medical device innovations? Can you share your perspective on this?
Sure. So RegTech and Gen AI will continue to evolve rapidly in the future. So with significant advancements in both the areas. So we are witnessing adoption across healthcare sectors, pharma sectors, medical devices, and life sciences are also life sciences OEMs are also jumping in the bandwagon. So regulatory bodies themselves are in the process of automating the submissions and approvals. So according to the AI in MedTech Trend Report, the MedTech industry is ready to for AI solutions that will make it easier to get medical devices into the hands of patients and providers without compromising safety or regulatory compliance. So that kind of confidence is building up now. So established solutions providers like say TrackWise, SAP are adopting Gen AI in their solutions for new innovative features. For example, SAP Joule, which was announced at SAP Sapphire in 2024, is a generative AI co-pilot designed to enhance user interactions across various SAP applications. So it offers intelligent assistance and transforms the work processes. Similarly, TrackWise Digital also is incorporating generative AI and advanced analytics to enhance efficiency in decision making. So, adoption of Gen AI by medical devices and pharma OEMs. So everyone is kind of agreeing that it will be adopted, it will be followed by the regulatory authorities, bodies also, and it will prove to be helpful in reducing recalls and non-compliances for medical OEMs, and also reducing the timelines of submissions. So, advanced analytical capabilities and ability to scan huge data from varied sources will result in safer products for the consumers, because a human may not be, it may not be possible for him to scan all the literature available in the internet, but technology can help in that. So this integration will help in quicker decision making, better data analysis, and more effective policies, as Dr. Soumya said.
Yeah.
Um, to add to that, in near future, in the fields of RegTech, we can see an increased adoption of AI and ML in regulatory compliance to automate many of the manual tasks, such as data collection, analysis, reporting. This will free up compliance professionals to focus on strategic work, such as identifying and mitigating those risks. With advancements in these solutions, we could process data based on real world evidence data and analyze PMS activities along with data from recalls and proactively warn the manufacturers if their devices might face similar issues. And these solutions will also be able to autonomously perform risk assessments for portfolios, calculate device failure rates, adhere to like strict compliance and quality standards, and create complete documents, PMS compliance forms, and probably submit responses to notified bodies. So, with respect to Gen AI, like as per a McKinsey report, we are currently nascent stages of our understanding of AI and its full potential in healthcare. Phase one solutions are focusing on routine, repetitive, and largely administrative tasks that are optimizing healthcare operations, increasing its adoption, including the AI based image applications, which are already in use in multiple specialities like radiology, pathology, ophthalmology. Phase 2 AI solutions will start supporting the shift from hospital based to home based care, including remote monitoring, AI powered alerting systems, virtual assistants. And these are advances happening in specialities like oncology, cardiology, neurology, where NLP and AI will find extensive usage. These shifts will require AI to be embedded extensively in clinical workflows through the intensive engagement of professional bodies and providers. And once that phase is passed, in phase three, we will start witnessing an increased presence of AI solutions in clinical practice, supported by evidence from clinical trials. And there will be a specific focus on the enhancement and widespread implementation of the clinical decision support tools. However, for AI to fully realize its potential in healthcare, several critical preconditions must be met. These include integration of extensive data sets across organizations, robust governance to consistently improve data quality, and a higher level of confidence from organizations, practitioners, and patients in both AI solutions, and the capacity to manage the associated risks. So, as technology progresses, we will see an increased adoption of RegTech by small and medium sized businesses to comply with complex regulations. And this will be due to the increasing affordability of RegTech solutions and ability to hyper personalize the regulatory guidance to specific needs and risks of individuals.
Yeah. But like we discussed earlier, how do you build trust around the content that is generated using Gen AI?
Yeah, very relevant question, Nadoli. As I said earlier, it's I mean, the acceptance of the technological solution is a challenge. So I would say that the accuracy of the direct solutions using AI, it depends on various factors. I mean, choice of LLMs, uh, quality of the training data set, the sophistication of the algorithm, and then the say, specific regulatory context. So, with time, the LLM's accuracy is improving significantly. So, if you see MedPalm, first version had the accuracy of 67.6% for a well-known medical exam, while the MedPalm 2 significantly improved and reached accuracy of 86.5%. So, that's a significant jump.
Yeah.
But for building trust for the application specific to our need, we need some more measures. So the technology provides with more measures, as I mentioned earlier also. So one of the most popular one is retrieval augmented generation system, so RAG. So the knowledge base for the source of information is built, and the answers are generated from this knowledge pool. So the original source of the content can be cited so that user can cross-reference and check the AI interpretation. So this grounding allows for the external verification and reproducibility and prevents the model from leaking sensitive information also. And similarly, another mechanism is to have a human in the loop for review and confirmation. As I mentioned in our PFAS solution also we have it. So whatever solutions we are developing, we allow user to confirm, right? If they don't agree, they can say, yeah, it's not it's not giving the right information. So and the model learns it. So the analytical responses are generated based on the vast knowledge available to Gen AI models. Those are presented to the user in an easy format to take decisions. So humans can edit and make the changes to the generated responses. So human in the loop also allows solutions to learn over a period of time and generate accurate results. So the reinforcement learning techniques, it allows to improve the accuracy of the models over time.
Yeah, that would be really helpful. But are there any mechanisms to calculate accuracies?
So statistical methods for automated accuracy calculations are also available for error calculations, but they cannot replace a human validation right now. So final validation by SMEs is a must till we find a proven way of finding accuracies programmatically. So right prompt engineering is very crucial. It requires multiple iterations to achieve the desired output levels, which determines the accuracy level of the outputs. And so combined with the measures, as I mentioned earlier, like solid contractual agreements with the service providers, which builds trust and the data security, trained team, technical guardrails, and educating the users about the solutions, benefits, and limitations, like transparency, that will build a trust with time. Also, it's also important that we do not jump on a technical solution right away. It's crucial to assess whether the problem at hand can really be solved by technology or not, and if yes, which is the right technology. So playing around with different technologies and maintaining the transparency and taking the responsibility is very important for the technologists. What do you say, ma'am? Nancy?
Yeah, I agree, and I would like to just add to what you just said. At Tata Elxsi, we believe we value our customers' privacy. Therefore, we have taken all the necessary measures to ensure that the client data is safe and secure. We never store any data on our servers or public servers. We rather use secure third-party cloud servers such as Azure and Linux virtual machines to process information, while ensuring that all the exchange data, all the exchanges, it's happening via secure firewall and VPN servers. We have strict adherence to ethical standards with regulatory compliance training for our employees, along with regular quality audits by authorized bodies. So I'd like to conclude with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vamsi and Mani. And it has been truly a very informative panel discussion. And I think we are taking away the use cases that can be possibly used by implementing Gen AI. And also, we did get a chance to understand the regulatory implications of Gen AI and how we can comply to them. So, to sum it up, Gen AI in RegTech is involving the use of technology, including artificial intelligence, to help the businesses comply with regulations efficiently and at a lower cost. So, AI in general has shown promise in improving the regulatory compliance lifecycle processes by automating the task and analyzing the vast amount of data and also enhancing the decision making. So, thanks a lot to both of you to answer all the questions that I have been asking to you. And thanks a lot, everyone who joined this session today. We hope you enjoyed the session. In the course of next few days, we will be sending the recording of the session and other insights as well. Do provide your feedback on the session. Thank you. Thank you again for joining. Wish you a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.